Welcome, dear children, to yet another virtual class of English. Today I'm going to teach you the first chapter of Snapshot, that is, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse by William Saroyan. Let's see the theme of the story. One of the major themes of The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse by William Saroyan is an honor. The young boy, Aram, explains the underlying philosophies of his large extended family. By this, it is very clear that this particular story is narrated by Aram. Although they were poor, they had pride and morals. When his cousin Murad appears at his window in the early morning light, Aram has to justify the horse his cousin has brought. So, the protagonist of the story is Aram and Murad. This story is about two Armenian boys, Aram and Murad, who belongs to a Gregorian tribe, and that particular tribe is famous for their honesty. So let's find out the what's there in the story. Let's begin with the chapter. One day back there in the good old days, that means Aram is recalling his childhood days. When I was 9 and the world was full of every imaginable kind of magnificence and life was still a delightful and mysterious dream, my cousin Murad, who was considered crazy by everybody who knew him except me, came to my house at 4 in the morning and woke me up, tapping on the window of my room. So, recalling his childhood days, when he was just 9 years old, he's recalling an incident, and it says at that time, when he was 9 year old child, that time the world is full of imagination, beautiful dreams, excellent life. See, if we ask a child, he will find nothing bad in this life. Everything is good for him. So according to Aram, when he was 9 year old, everything was excellent for him. His life was delightful and full of mysterious dream. And when one day when he was lying asleep, his cousin Murad, who was considered crazy, means insane, he used to do crazy things, so the family members used to consider him very insane kind of fellow. By everybody he knew him. So whosoever knew Murad, they felt that he was a crazy boy, except his cousin Aram came to my house at 4 in the morning and woke me up, tapping on the window of my room. So Aram was lying asleep. He came in the morning, tapped on the window and woke him up. Aram, he said. I jumped out of bed and looked out of the window. I couldn't believe what I saw. So as soon as he called his name, he woke him up. He just jumped from the bed to see what he has brought, and when he went near the window to see, he couldn't believe his eyes. Let's see what he has brought. It wasn't morning, that means it was still dawn, not morning time, not fully bright morning. But it was summer, and with daybreak, not many minutes around the corner of the world, it was light enough for me to know I wasn't dreaming. It was the time of dawn, but since it was a summer morning, the things were quite visible to Aram. My cousin Murad was sitting on a beautiful white horse, and what he saw out of the window, he couldn't believe his eyes. He saw that his cousin Murad was sitting on a beautiful white horse. I stuck my head out of the window and rubbed my eyes because he was not able to believe this. Yes, he said in Armenian, it's a horse. You are not dreaming. Make it quick if you want to ride. So he said, yes, don't think so that you are dreaming. It's a reality, and yes, it is a white horse. And if you want to ride the horse, be very quick, get ready, and come out. I knew my cousin Murad enjoyed being alive more than anybody else who had ever fallen into the world by mistake. That means his cousin knew how to enjoy life. He was a very lively person, full of adventure. But this was more than even I could believe. He was very well aware of his brother, but still, what he did today, it was unbelievable for him. In the first place, my earliest memories had been memories of horses, and my first longing had been longings to ride. Longing means first desire. So, whenever he recall his childhood days, whatever first comes to his mind is horse, and he is been longing for long to ride a horse. This was the wonderful part. In the second place, we were poor. First thing, he wanted to ride a horse. Second thing, he could not fulfill his dream because he was poor. They were poor, so they could not fulfill this dream to have a horse. And now seeing the horse in front of him was a dream come true. This was the part that wouldn't permit me to believe what I saw. We were poor. We had no money. So they were very poor people. They could not even afford food, so how they could afford a horse? Our whole tribe was poverty stricken. Every branch of the Gregorian family was living in the most amazing and comical poverty in the world. Nobody could understand where we ever got money enough to keep us with food in our bellies. So they were so poor that they could not believe from where do they get the food. And not even the old men of the family could tell us from where they used to arrange for the food, because they were very, very poor people. And secondly, they were very honest. And thirdly, they never asked anyone anything from anyone. Now, most important of all, though we were famous for our honesty, we had been famous for our honesty for something like 11 centuries. In 11 centuries, they were very famous for their honesty. We were proud first, honest next, and after that, we believed in right and wrong. They were very well aware of the things, what is right and what is wrong. We were, sorry, none of us would take advantage of anybody in the world, let alone steal. That means they were people of very strong values, strong character. They never ever in their life has taken advantage of anybody. They have never stolen anything, because they were very, very honest people. Consequently, even though I could see the horse so magnificent, even though I could smell it so lovely, even though I could hear it breathing so exciting, I couldn't believe the horse had anything to do with my cousin Murad, or with me, or with any of the other members of our family. So in reality, he was seeing the horse. He could see how magnificent, beautiful the horse was. He could smell that horse. He could feel that horse. He could hear the breathing of the horse. Everything he could see in reality, but still he could not believe that his cousin has brought the horse, because they were not in a position to buy a horse. They were so poverty stricken that they could not afford a horse. So horse was, so nothing that horse has to do with Murad, his cousin, with his family member, of with his tribe even. Any other member of a family, asleep or awake, because I knew my cousin Murad couldn't have bought the horse, and if he couldn't have bought it, he must have stolen. So it is very obvious that if he cannot buy that horse, so that means he has stolen the horse from somewhere, because he was very aware of the economical condition of his tribe, of his family, that they were so poverty stricken that they cannot buy a horse. That means he was pretty much sure that his cousin Murad has stolen the horse. No member of the Gregorian family could be a thief. So I told you earlier, they were so honest people that it is very hard to believe that they can steal something, they can be a thief. I stared first at my cousin and then at the horse. So he was in a very angry mood. He just looked at his cousin first and then his horse. That means in a sign language, he was just wanted to ask his brother from where did he get the horse. There was a pious stillness and humor in each of them, which on the one hand delighted me and on the other hand frightened me. See why pious stillness means very, very holy, very pure They were standing still, both of them, Murad as well as the narrator, that is Aram. Both, there was a stillness. They were quiet. They were not talking, but they were talking with the only through the eyes. Yes, he looked at his cousin Murad. Then he looked at the horse and wanted to ask a question from where did you get this horse? Then there was a past stillness. There was calmness. There was quiet. There was quiet. They were very pure, still kind of humorless. And then there was a humor also, why humor? Because at one point of time, Aram was really, really happy to see the horse in front of him. That means his dream was going to be true. Now, at and the second place, he was really frightened because if his cousin has stolen the horse, that means will bring a shame to the whole tribe. Murad, I said, where did you steal this horse? Leap out of the window, he said, if you want to ride. So he asked him, from where did you steal this horse? He said, if you want to ride the horse, just come out of the window. It was true then. He had stolen the horse. There was no question about it. He had come to invite me to ride or not, as I chose. So it was totally his choice whether he wanted to ride the horse or not. So he has just come because since they were cousin, he was knowing about his dream and he wanted to fulfill his dream. Just he asked him to ride the horse if he want to. And now it was very clear to Aram that Murad had stolen the horse. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else, such as money. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. See, now he is justifying his his cousin brother Murad. He's just justifying his stealing. He's saying if you steal something for the commercial purpose, that means for selling and buying something, then it is a stealing. But just for a ride, if you are stealing, that means he has stolen the horse just for a ride. That means this is not a stealing. If he would have stole the horse and would have sold the horse to somebody else, then it would have been stealing. So he's justifying his cousin Murad. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. If you were crazy about horses the way my cousin Murad and I were, it wasn't stealing. So he's trying to convince himself that his brother has not done stealing. Secondly, he wants to justify the action of Murad, that whatever he has done, it's not against the tribe. He has not done stealing. It's just they want to fulfill the dream. So it doesn't come under stealing. When it would have been into stealing, if they would have thought of selling the horse for earning money, and he was very much sure that Murad is not going to do so, will not do anything which will put his tribe to shame. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said, but hurry. I leaped into my clothes. I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Murad. So he did everything in a hurry. Just he jumped out of the window and soon he was sitting at the back of his cousin on the horseback. That year we lived at the edge of the town. Edge means on the border of the town, on Walnut Avenue. So they were living in a countryside on the Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the country. Country means the rural area. Vineyards means a plantation of grape vines. Orchards is a piece of land where the fruits are grown. Then irrigation ditches which is made by humans, that is channels for irrigating the fields. And country roads. In less than 3 minutes we were on Olive Avenue. That means they were in the township area, and since they got the road smooth, the horse began to trot. Trot means run fast, or started running fast, proceeding fast. The air was new and lovely to breathe. So now they are into different world. Since they are about to fulfill their dream, long dream, which he really longed for. So now the air to him seems new, lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest member of our family, began to sing. So he was singing very loudly. I mean, he began to roar out of. So he began to sing very loudly out of happiness. Every member has a crazy streak in it somewhere. See, streak means inherent quality. So this craziness Murad has inherited from one of his family member. And who is the member? And my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. So he has inherited that quality from one of his uncle, one of his member of the tribe. Before him was our uncle Khosrow. So he has inherited this quality of being insane or crazy from his uncle Khosrow. Now, here the narrator is describing his uncle, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in San Joaquin Valley, too. A man so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. So he was a huge man, big man. He had a huge head, big head with a black hair, and he has a large mustache in the San and he lived in the San Joaquin Valley too. He was very furious man in temper. That means he gets angry very fast. So irritating. He was very irritating fellow, so impatient that he does not let anybody talk. So whenever anybody wants to talk, he just stop them by roaring, means by shouting and saying, "It's no harm, pay no attention." So this was his very patent sentence. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. That was all. No matter what anybody happened to be talking about. So his uncle was a very impatient man. He doesn't listen to anybody. He never let anybody finish the talk. Whenever anybody starts speaking only without listening what he's talking about, he used to say same dialogue of his, that it's no harm, pay no attention. So now Aram is describing an incident which shows the true character of his uncle. Once it was his own son Arak running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. This man Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared, "It is no harm, pay no attention." Just imagine, his own house was on fire, but since he's such an impatient man, he didn't pay any heed to what his son said, and he said, "Please pay no, so it is no harm, pay no attention to it." When his son left, the barber said, "But the boy says your house is on fire." So Khosrow roared, "Enough, it is no harm, I say." So when the boy left, the barber said, "The boy came to tell you that your own house is on fire." So he said, "Enough of it. I don't want to listen anything. You don't pay any attention to it. It is no harm." My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man. Since Murad was a crazy fellow, so everybody was in a notion that Murad has got this craziness from his uncle Khosrow only. Although Murad's father was Zurab, this Khosrow was not father of Murad. Murad's father was Zurab, who was a practical and nothing else. He was a very practical man. He was not not crazy like Murad nor his uncle Khosrow. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. So this means that a child could look like his father, but doesn't mean he gets his nature and attitude just the same. The distribution of various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. So they are, according to Aram, there were different kinds of people in his tribe. Some were moody without any settled work or home. So there were different kind of They were very capricious, means very unpredictable people, and vagrant means nothing was fixed, so they didn't have fixed home, so they didn't have fixed job, and they were very very unpredictable people. We rode and my cousin Murad sang, so they were very happy. They were in their own world. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country where at least some of our neighbors we belonged. So they were uh, in the old neighborhood, and the people there still think that they belong to the same place. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. So that they totally left the horse to run as long as it wants to run. At last, my cousin Murad said, "Get down. I want to ride alone." So now Murad asked Aram to get down off the horse because now he wanted to enjoy the ride all alone. "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." So Aram asked Murad that will he let him ride the horse all alone. His To that Aram replied, sorry, to that Murad replied, "It's all depend upon the horse whether it let you ride him or not." "The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with the horse." I have a way with the horse means I know how to tackle with the horse. I am successful in dealing with the horse. "Well," I said, "anyway, you have with a horse, I have also." So Aram said to him that if you know how to tackle the horse, I too know very well how to tackle with the horse. "So for the sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so." Get down. He said, "I hope so. The horse let you ride on it. Now, first, before that, please just get down because you want to enjoy the ride." "All right," I said, "but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." So he just gave a warning to him, or you can say remembrance, that now, anyhow, after coming back, you have to give me the horse to ride on it all alone. I got down and my cousin Murad kicked his heel into the horse and shouted, "Wazir, run." So when he got down, he just kicked the horse in his heels. He just kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir." Wazir means, in Armenian language, it means run. The horse stood on its hind legs. It is given in the picture the position he took. So the horse stood on its hind legs and the snorted. Snorted means he breathed heavily, suddenly he burst into a fury. Fury means into an extreme strength of action, of a speed that was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. The way the horse picked himself to run, that was the loveliest scene Aram has ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. So everywhere he took the horse, to the dry grass, to the irrigation ditch. Even he crossed the ditch on that horse, and when after 5 minutes when he came back, he was wet, totally wet. The sun was coming up now. Finally the sunrise was there, and a full light, proper morning. "Now it's my turn to ride," I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. "Ride," he said. So as he came back, he said, "Now it's Aram said, "Now it's my turn to ride the horse." Murad, he got down off the horse and said, "Now you ride, it's your turn." So next part of the story, rest of the story we will continue in the next video. Till then, it's my sincere request to all of you, please go through the chapter, read the chapters, and whatever work is being given to you, please do it. Don't pile up for later, because when the school reopen, all your copies will be checked and the marks will be given on the copy. So please complete your copy work. It's my sincere request to all. Till then, bye bye. Have a great day. Stay home, stay safe.